mine in the right corner. Kate Muker, who you'll see at the bottom of your screen, I think. She's the one waving to you. Kate is a mama, a proud mama of two beautiful girls. She's an entrepreneur. She's an amazing, heartfelt speaker. She's just over the bridge, about 45 minutes away from me in West Vancouver, British Columbia. And then in the middle of the screen, you'll see the beautiful brunette, Dr. Monica Smith. Monica, as well as a proud mama of her little stud of a beautiful baby boy, a chiropractor, an entrepreneur, and she is coming to us today from Chattanooga, Tennessee. So we are so excited to have you join us. On behalf of all of us, let me thank you very much. Our heartfelt gratitude for your time. We don't take it lightly. And we're really just excited to share what we're up to. Our agenda today is super straightforward. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think this opportunity and this company and this industry is so incredible. Dr. Monica is going to dive into the product offerings and share a little bit about just the incredible integrity and efficacy of the products, their robustness in playing such a vital role in living healthy lives, especially based on, how we live today and the toxicity that's in our world. And then Kate's going to bring us home, sharing a little bit more about the opportunity and the different ways you can engage or get involved depending on whatever resonates with you today. And we have no attachment to whatever that is. We're just really here to share from our hearts. And you just pick up on whatever might vibe with you. And that is super cool, whatever that is. Regarding questions, if we say anything throughout today that you have a question about, you don't have to wait. You can just pop it into the chat box. We do have you guys all on mute just for the sake of keeping it nice and clean for everybody to listen. But you can put your question anytime that you think of it in the chat box, and we will address it at the end. And if you have to jump off, we will make sure that we get the answers to the questions, and you can always follow up with whoever invited you to join us today. It's our commitment to you to make sure whatever questions you have, we do get answered. So with that, let me start by sharing why I think this opportunity is just so incredible, why I think the timing is amazing to get involved. A little bit about me. Since 2007, I've been working as an entrepreneur in the personal development space, as a coach and a speaker and a trainer. I've had the privilege of working all over the world, the UK, Europe, Australia, US, obviously in Canada here. And I've had incredible clients from all kinds of different industries and sectors. And I feel really privileged because I've been able to really be surrounded by people, who want to lean into the journey of their life and experience, just really that potential, just really have a deep dive into what could be possible for them. And it's been deeply fulfilling work for me because I have the same dream to really realize what's possible in my life and to lean past the limitations that often our mind can kind of put over us around what we can and cannot do. And so it really, for me, all started when I was 22 years old. Something really eye-opening happened for me. My stepdad, Alvin, who had been my primary caregiver as a father since I was 8 years old, was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And despite the fact that he was otherwise healthy and all the valiant efforts of all the oncologists and everybody that we worked with, he died in 6 months. At 43 years old, he passed away. And ever since that day, two really major things happened for me. First of all, I started to question the paradigm that I had been raised and socialized and conditioned to believe in, which was work really hard, save as much money as you can, and then retire early and hope that you're healthy enough to enjoy that last chapter of your life. And, suddenly that had been thrust into the foreground for me to realize that is not necessarily the dream, and it may not necessarily come true. The second thing was I started to really experience this much greater sense of urgency when it came to my life and to my potential and to what's possible in my dreams. And I started to really use that experience as a real litmus test. And when life would start presenting opportunities for me, I started to say yes much more quickly. It wasn't that I never assess risk, but I just always then had that gift of that experience with my stepdad to think about. And I often will just ask myself, what would Alvin do? And, it's why I left my 6-figure corporate job with all the benefits and bells and whistles when I was 24 years old, because I wanted to try my hand at entrepreneurship. I liked the idea of pursuing time freedom. And I wanted to be able to pursue what I was passionate about, which was personal development and growth and really supporting people. And so Even though everybody thought I was crazy, my life experience had given me sort of a permission slip to start to say yes to those kinds of opportunities. So since then, for the past decade, I've been working as a business coach, and as I said, I've got clients in all kinds of sectors. But in 2012, I was hired by a woman that was working in network marketing. And it was an industry that up until that point, I really knew nothing about. I was super unfamiliar with it. But fast forward to today, and I've actually had the great honor and privilege of working with many leaders in the industry in many different companies. And I've had a real opportunity to learn about the business. And it's always been something that's been really intriguing to me, but I've always been riding shotgun on the opportunity. But as an entrepreneur, like, I look at the business model and I'm enthralled because it's really expensive to be an entrepreneur. The capital investment and all the hats you have to wear, right? Between websites and legal and finance and accounting and standard operating procedures and customer service, and it just, the list goes on as an entrepreneur. And trust me, I've lived it, I know it. And yet this business model comes along. And, it really sort of takes all the headaches of entrepreneurship away. It's not easy per se, but it just takes all that stress out of it and gives people an opportunity to be an entrepreneur, to be in business for themselves, but to not be by themselves, and to really have this robust infrastructure surrounding them so that they can do the part that they love. And as an entrepreneur, I know, wouldn't it be nice if we got to spend all the time doing just the part we loved and didn't have to do all the other stuff around it? And yet this business model has essentially created that exact opportunity. I also saw it as, I saw a lot of people opting out, moms that I knew or clients that would come on board and they had been, really successful in the corporate arena, and yet they had a baby and they didn't want necessarily the same time restraints and constrictions that they had going back to corporate. And they saw network marketing, direct sales, social selling as a business model that gave them a lot of flexibility. They still got to be the professional women that they were so capable of being, but they got to do it in a way that really honored this other part of their life that had come alive, that they didn't want to give up. And so I think there's some really interesting things about the business. I think there's three key things that are, just things to keep in mind. The first is the choice. This is us working. Here we are. This is work. And so I think there's something really exciting about being able to be in choice. We spend over half of our life working. To get to work with people that you love, doing work that you love, I think is something that is not to be underestimated. It makes an enormous difference when the company that you keep is uplifting, is visionary, is purpose-driven, aligns with your values. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing, again, is the time freedom, to not be restricted, to have certain working hours, and to have to be somewhere at a certain time every single day, and to have to sort of defer your life until some point in the future. But instead to have the freedom and flexibility to design the life that you want to live today, I think is something very intriguing. And I think the other thing is, this is a total meritocracy. We hear a lot, I chat with a lot of millennials, and they have such a bad rap. They're labeled as entitled. And yet I find that that's not necessarily true. They're just asking really good questions. They just want to know, how can I start to live a meaningful and fulfilling life today? I don't want to wait until I'm XYZ years old, or I've climbed so many rungs up the corporate ladder. I want to experience what it feels like to share my gifts and talents with the world today in contribution. And I would like to be compensated for that effort. And so this is a business model that is designed for people that are wired that way. And so, here I am, I've been around this industry in all these different ways. And then all of a sudden, I get invited to speak at Allysian Sciences at their national convention last fall. And for the first time, I meet a company that is in the business and in this industry, but that is aligned so perfectly with my personal vision, with my values, and that has developed products, frankly, that I have just never seen, that are so cutting edge that I just saw my opportunity to lean in. And I said, yes, I am in. This is the door that I want to walk through. And so I want to share a little bit about what Allysian Science is all about. If you click to the next slide, Kate, you'll see Allysian is a noun, and it is translated as all things in a perfect place. Something's wrong with our Oops. That's okay. Well, you'll figure it out, I'm sure. You'll see in a moment when the slide deck comes back up. But Allysian is a noun that is defined as all things in perfect place. And I think we all know nothing is perfect, right? And so what you're really looking at is an organization that is absolutely dedicated to progress. And so it's really about figuring out how do we get to what we're defining as perfect today, and then how do we keep raising the bar, and how do we keep raising the bar, and how do we keep raising the bar. I'm looking at Kate's face. She's finding our PowerPoint slide deck. But I'm going to carry on. You'll see in a moment, and maybe the deck will show up for us to support us. But that's what Allysian Sciences is all about. So, you know, behind the scenes, no matter what we do, I think the cool thing is how we do what we do. And how we do what we do is through the lens of progress. And that really comes from the two visionaries that co-founded the company, Apollo Ono. I don't know if you've been living under a rock if you don't know that name, but Apollo Ono is the most decorated Winter Olympian in US history. He's an actor. He won Dancing with the Stars, if you watch that show, and you probably know that already. He is a TV personality, sports broadcaster, motivational speaker, and at the very wise old age of 35 years old, you know, his list of accomplishments is certainly incredible. We don't need to take that away from him, but he will be the first to tell you that even though he won, he's this most decorated Winter Olympian in US history, it was not his physical stature, nor his rigorous training schedules that got him to the finish line first. Don't you love technology sometimes?
I love technology because it's opening in another screen, but you can't see it, only I can see it.
That's okay.
Hold on a second here.
It comes back and forth.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
You can see this.
Yeah, we can see that.
Now can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just on the wrong slide.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So going back to these two handsome gentlemen, you'll see in a moment, one more. And anyways, back to Apollo. Yeah, so he'd be the first to tell you that even though, you know, he has these amazing physical accomplishments, you know, after retiring, he completed the Kona Ironman. If you ask anybody who's ever done that race, they will tell you it's one of the most vigorous and hardest things they've ever done, despite whatever they've done in athletics ahead of that. He really understood that in order for him to win, he had to understand how to leverage what he saw as his most valuable asset, and that was his mind. And so he spent years and years researching, and you hear him talk about the nutraceutical industry, you hear him talk about nutritional supplementation, you hear him talk about cognitive enhancement, and you can just tell this is a guy that is like dove so deep into this world. He is so passionate about it. You know, he's traveled all over the world, just sourcing these most nutrient-dense, bioavailable, natural supplements. First, selfishly, you know, and again, when anybody has a selfish motivation, you can benefit. You know, we all can benefit from that, and that's what Allysian Sciences has done. We've benefited from this guy's passion on figuring out how to be the best he can be. And that's our leader, you know. And then you couple that with the gentleman on the right, which is Rod Howe. Now, Rod might not be quite as famous as Apollo, but he is certainly accomplished very much in his own right, and living proof as our CEO of Allysian Sciences that network marketing can lead to success in enormous ways. Rod actually joined Amway, which is one of the world's largest and most successful direct selling companies, when he was a teenager. He was only 17 years old when he joined the company. But by the time he was 21, he had already reached Diamond Seller, which within their organization is the top, it's the pinnacle. And he was already generating an income into the millions of dollars. And yet this is a man who comes from humble beginnings, grew up in the Philippines, and his family then migrated to Canada. And when you're around him, you can't help but love him. He is so humble. He is so kind. He is so generous. And he's a man who's built a business and built success around being of service. And for me, you know, I've been around a lot of CEOs in my career, and to be around somebody that is so humble, even at the success levels that he's had, is somebody that I absolutely want to align myself with. And then together, these two have cast a vision for Allysian that is built on the bedrock of our mission. And quite frankly, and quite simply, it's to maximize human potential. And, you know, again, when I came across these guys, I thought, hey, that's my mission. And so it was just such a perfect fit for me. Our mantra literally is to redefine possible, and that has no caveat. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do or what you aspire to be in your life. Our mission as an organization is to help you redefine what that possibility might be for your life, and to lean into the potential that you have within you, and to help you in whatever way we can to express that potential in your lifetime. You know, for us, we want to see the souls come to the lives of people all over the world so that they can live their most expressed life. And so that's what we're all about. That's the mission of the company. Currently, just to give you a little bit of background, we're still in pre-launch. We launched in 2015. We're currently active in 14 different markets. The benefit of pre-launch is that it gives us the chance to really build the infrastructure to a robust place where we can really understand all the distribution channels, all work out all the little kinks that come along with this, with starting a company, production, etc. And yet, as affiliates, what this means for us is we can open stores in 14 different markets today. And with the use of technology, you know, that gives you a worldwide marketplace to connect and to share the mission and the vision of Allysian. And we have seen, you know, colleagues of ours that are just blowing up this company, this space, this product line, because of how quickly Allysian has been able to expand into markets all over the world. And again, they take that same, you know, everything in a perfect place model to everything to do with the infrastructure of the business, and to do it in a way that is second to none. They really want to continue to raise the bar on every level. And, you know, everything from our out-of-box experience all the way through the entire, you know, what it would mean to be a customer has been so well thought out. I absolutely adore it, right down to the packaging. When you receive a package and it's covered in a bunch of paper that says redefine possible, there's something really intriguing about that and exciting as a customer. Like, even for me to receive that and open that, I love it every single time. And then, you know, just to touch on the industry a little bit, you know, when we see what's going on, this is a massive industry, and yet it's still what they would consider an emerging market. You know, even though we're talking about the trillions of dollars and triple-digit growth, we're really just starting to wake up to this idea. I mean, nobody's probably new to the concept that we've heard, oh, we only use 2% of our brain, or a small percentage of our brain, but nobody's ever answered the question, well, how do we start to learn really how to understand how to leverage more of it, until the nutraceutical and cognitive support space came along. And, you know, that's what Allysian is doing. We are working to be part of this cutting edge industry to say we can get ahead of a lot of these degenerative diseases that we know are limiting our potential in our lives to experience, you know, what life has to offer us. And so, you know, the media is starting to take notice of what's going on in this space. The bottom line is people really want to be their best, and we're starting to see that. It's no secret the guys in Silicon Valley have been taking nootropics for a long time, but finally it's coming to the mainstream market, and everyday people are starting to realize, hey, wait a second, when I take a supplement that supports my cognitive functioning, which directly is related to the decisions I make and the choices that I, you know, navigate through in my life, and suddenly the quality of my life is improving. I don't know anybody that doesn't want to get on that bus, especially when we're talking about the highest grade, you know, nutritional bioavailable products that are available for us. Like, people are in, and they really want to understand how can they continue to raise the bar in their own life and, frankly, redefine possible for them. So I'm sure you're all sick of hearing my voice. So I'm going to turn it over to my beautiful counterpart to talk a little bit about these incredible, thank you guys.
Sorry.
That's okay. Hey guys, I am Dr. Monica Smith. I am so excited to be here and to talk about these incredible products. So the products are what originally drew me towards this company. So the past 10 years, I've been on this journey of achieving higher levels of health and well-being within myself, and also in our practice here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So through those 10 years, I have taken an enormous amount of supplements. I have done so much research on product quality and product ingredients, so to know what's best for my body and to recommend for other people. And so when I got introduced to Allysian, I was completely blown away at not only the integrity and the transparency within the leaders and what they've done through the company, but how every single thing is clinically proven and validated, and it has a high level of efficacy. that is super rare. So all these products, you can see all these certifications that we have. Every single product is organic, non-GMO, vegan, GRAS certified, which means generally regarded as safe, independently tested, all natural, and certified GMP, which is good manufacturing practices. So at their manufacturing facility, they are doing the best of the best things there. They have 14 PhDs on staff with degrees in phytochemistry and phytomedicine. And so their commitment to excellence is what allows them to really transcend all the standards in the nutraceutical industry, which is something that I greatly appreciate. And so what this really is saying is that all these products are 100% pure, which is something that people are becoming more aware of, looking at their ingredients, knowing what they're putting in their bodies, because it matters. So you can go ahead and go to the next slide. So I'll go over our flagship product in just a minute, Mastermind. Before that, I'm going to touch on the 18 Health Canada approved recommended uses. So this company obviously is Canadian. Everything's manufactured in Canada. Canada is the first and only country that has regulations on natural health products. No other country is doing that. So in the US, we have the FDA. You cannot make claims on dietary supplements in the United States. There's no regulatory bodies in the United States that can approve or have claims for any benefits that a supplement has. So in Canada, to get even one approved Health Canada recommended use is extremely difficult, because you have to have an enormous amount of clinical data that's going to support that approved use and benefit. So to have not only one, but 18 Health Canada approved uses for Mastermind is not only rare, but it's something to be really proud of and something I can definitely stand behind, because I love that. Go ahead and go to the next page. So like I said, everything is clinically proven and validated. On Mastermind, they've done a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled crossover clinical study over an 8-week period. And what they've shown is that over an 8-week period, you will have an increase in working memory capacity by 15.6% and memory speed by 9.9%. Those are some extremely significant statistics to have that over 8-week period. So the memory capacity is obviously how much you can have within your brain, how much memory you can have. The working memory speed is your recall speed. So whenever you go into a room and you totally forgot why you went in there, that's your recall speed. Or if you go to a networking event or a party and you cannot remember someone's name, again, recall speed. So to have an increase in that 9.9% in 8 weeks, that's only 8 weeks. That is very significant. It's something to be really excited about. You can go to the next slide. So this is our flagship product. This is what I am so excited about, and this is why I became a part of this company, because this is the only supplement I have ever taken in my life where I've noticed such a palpable difference. So Mastermind is a nootropic, which means it's a cognitive enhancement supplement. That's a lot of words. Really what we teach people and what we understand is that the nervous system controls every single part of our body. So the nervous system is our brain, our spinal cord, and all of the nerves that go to every single cell, tissue, and organ. So the nervous system is what allows your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, your hormones to be regulated at the right level, your energy levels to work the way they're supposed to, your muscles to move the way they're supposed to. So to have a nervous system that is working at a high level is extremely important. So we know in all the health and wellness industries, there's so many supplements out there. There's supplements on weight loss and on energy levels and pre-workout. But to have a supplement, this is why it's so innovative, to have a supplement that is going to target the master control system of the body and supply it with 19 all organic herbs and botanicals and adaptogens, that is what is going to make the difference between having just something from the outside and actually fueling your master control system. So like I said, when your nervous system works properly, that is when your hormones and your metabolism is going to work the way it's supposed to. That is when your energy levels are going to be working the way they're supposed to. So this is something to be really excited about. So there's 19 all organically sourced around the world botanicals and extracts and adaptogens in there. So what adaptogens are? We have ashwagandha, ginkgo biloba, and rhodiola. What those do, they're the most powerful adaptogens on the planet. An adaptogen, really what it does, it just helps to mitigate the negative effects of stress in our body. We are not meant to live in chronic states of stress. When we are living in those chronic states, that's when our immune system is compromised. That's when our energy levels suffer. That is when our adrenals are burnt out and our cortisol levels are shot high to the sky. So to have a supplement that you're taking on a daily basis to combat that and allow you to adapt to those levels of stress is going to transcend so many things within your health. So not only do they have those ingredients, and so real quick, the ashwagandha in there is KSM 66. It is the most powerful source of ashwagandha on the planet. It's extracted from the root. And this supplement is extremely bioavailable in your body, meaning that it's utilized and absorbed quickly. So we have black pepper extract in there, and we know that when herbs are taken with black pepper, it's even more bioavailable in your body. So that's really incredible. And so there are 18 approved recommended uses. I'm not going to go through all of them because that's an enormous amount, but here are some of those around that brain. So it increases your motivation, mood, and social ease, causes relaxation, decreases stress, increases peripheral circulation within your body. So if you're an athlete, that is something that is so important, not only for performance, but for recovery. Focus and concentration, and then we talked about memory. So for me, within, and I can't see because our video is in the way, but also does clarity and awareness. So for me at 2 weeks, that's the first thing I noticed. It was like I felt crisp and clear. And as a new mom at the time, I didn't even know I was having so much mental fog and fatigue, because what's interesting about our bodies is that we become acclimated to a certain level of function until it's gone. And so once I noticed I was like crisp and clear, it's like, oh, I totally didn't even know I wasn't functioning at that level until it was gone, which is really exciting. And soon after that, I noticed surprisingly an increase in motivation and determination. And then my energy levels were definitely stabilized and increased, which again is huge for a new mom. So I am a huge fan of this supplement, and it's incredible. You can go to the next slide. So here are the rest of our products. So to the right, we have Genesis, which is our co-flagship product. We have two. And everyone has heard of greens powders. And so what Apollo wanted to do is make something that was different than all of the other greens powders. And so we know that we need to consume fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. But a new study just came out that we actually need 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day because of the environment that we're surrounded by nowadays. So there's toxins all around us, more so now than ever before in society. So we have them in the air we're breathing in, and the food that we're eating, and the wireless technology that's surrounded on all sides of us. So to have a greens powder like this that's not only going to be cleansing, renewing, nourishing, but also detoxifying is, in my opinion, extremely necessary to have on a daily basis. So this product is 74 all organically sourced ingredients. So we have land and sea vegetables, cruciferous, which are known to help with cancer. We have pre and probiotics for digestion, essential fatty acids. We have the adaptogens in there from Mastermind. So they have sprinkled that in the Genesis as well. And some kale, all these green leafy vegetables. And the coolest thing about it is that it has humofulvate in there. So humofulvate is a heavy metal chelator. It's a lot of words as well, but just know that when heavy metals like mercury and aluminum go inside your body, because they will, they actually don't leave. And that's really dangerous for your nervous system. So we have traces of heavy metals in water and food, vaccines. Some of the dental care they used to put in people's teeth had mercury. So these are always being leaked into our body. And so the only way they're going to leave is through chelation. So to have a supplement like a greens powder that not only is delicious, but that pulls out heavy metals, it's really rare and very vital for our bodies. To the left of that, we have our Smart Kids, which is really exciting. It is the only kids multivitamin on the market that has 0 grams of sugar. Most children's multivitamins have like 20, 30 grams. So once you go home and see your kids' vitamins, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So this is only sweetened with fruits and vegetables, which is really important. To the left of that, we have our Omega. The Omega is Neptune krill oil. The krill oil is 2.5 times more bioavailable in our body than fish oil. So again, bioavailability means that your body can utilize it and absorb it very quickly. And one of the coolest things about the omega, which I'm really excited about, is that they have astaxanthin in it. So astaxanthin is one of the most powerful fat-soluble antioxidants, meaning that our brain can utilize it. So important. Our brain runs off fats. So to be taking a really high-quality fat-soluble antioxidant is so important for your brain. It also lubricates your joints if you're an athlete, makes your skin look youthful, it reverses sun damage, and the astaxanthin is what gives flamingo their pink color. So when flamingos are born, they're actually white, and then when they have the astaxanthin, they turn pink. So it's a very potent and powerful ingredient, and it's 65 times more powerful than vitamin C. So it's an incredible product. To the left of the mastermind, we have our men's and women's elements, which are our multivitamins. I think it's well known that we need to be taking a multivitamin on a daily basis. The soil today is not as rich as it used to be, meaning that our food is not going to supply our bodies with what it needs on a daily basis. So we have men's and women's because the men's has an ingredient in there that helps with prostate health, but both of them have turmeric in there, which is anti-inflammatory, really cool ingredients like maca, matcha. So that is really a high quality multivitamin. To the left of that, we have our sinless chocolates, which everyone is always excited about. It's dark chocolate, 70% cacao. It is Peruvian source, so Peru, it's all single source from the cacao bean in Peru to the actual chocolate bar. What is different about this one is that they, again, have the mastermind sprinkled into the chocolate. So it's not only benefiting you with the antioxidants from the cacao, but it has the adaptogens in there. So they have some studies on that consuming about 2 to 4 of those a day is going to boost your mood significantly, which is definitely what we all want. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. So this is what is so innovative about Allysian, is that not only are we supplying our body with these high quality nutrients, but they've paired it with 2 other avenues. So together these make this medley of transformation. So the education component, you can go to the next slide. So we have an app, it's Allysian Sciences app. You guys can download it. Through that app, it's not only the community aspect to stay connected with everyone who's involved, but we also have a 30-day mind mastery. So Dr. Muker, our Chief Transformational Officer, he has devised, from his 20 plus years of experience in coaching, compressed it, this 30-day system where you're going to be identifying limitations, really breaking through barriers to live the life that you want to live. So it is so phenomenal, and it's such a treat that this is part of our company because it's very necessary. And then the third part, you can go to the next slide, is our partnership with Cognifit. So Cognifit is also another app, and it's brain games. So it identifies areas in your brain that need improvement, and so they have certain targets of games that you can use for your brain to improve it. And if you're a data person, they track everything. So it's really cool to see your progress through the nutrition, through the mind mastery, and using Cognifit. The transformation is, it's very transformational because of it's the combination of the 3 of those. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to the beautiful Kate Muker.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you, ladies. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cough. I'd love to start by sharing my story into network marketing as well as my story into Allysian. Prior to having kids, I was building community and hosting over 100 events in the city for women who are interested in being the best versions of themselves. So I too have been on a journey for the last 17 years of being the best version of me and absorbing books and programs and nutrition, just different things that I could do for my health and well-being, as well as sort of my mindset and my personal growth, and started an organization for women who wanted to do that and live their best life. And so on that journey, I would attend different networking events to build that business. And while I was there, I met so many women that were in network marketing or direct sales. And I had a lot of judgments and resistance to what network marketing was. I remember as a child, I was about 8 years old, and my family was actually in another network marketing company, my aunt and uncle, and they had invited my entire family over to dinner. And while we were at dinner, the people that were their upline or their mentors in their business actually came to present an opportunity to them. But the problem was that nobody knew they were coming to an opportunity meeting. So to say the least, I just remember as a child there being this sort of ripple effect of sort of a bad taste that was left in a lot of people's minds. So that created a belief within me as to what network marketing was, and it just created a resistance. And then when I went to these networking events and met these women, and many of them who ended up becoming really good friends, I couldn't help but feel that there was something that I was missing. Like there was a little nudge within me that was like, there's something here for you to look at. And so although I had that resistance, there was also that sort of pull, like, what is this? Because as an entrepreneur, prior to being an entrepreneur, I was an employee, and I was one of those employees that was like, I was your best employee because I treated your business like it was your own. And I always was the person, like I was climbing up the corporate ladder. I was doing what I could to do that, and then wanted to be rewarded, but there was always some kind of cap. And so the idea that there was an industry that would reward me for the work that I was willing to put in was really attractive. And I saw these people creating a lot of success in their life, and I didn't get that feeling from them like the story I had in my head. They were just lovely people. And so as I got to know them, I became a little bit more open-minded, and I learned more about what the industry was and ended up jumping into another company. And so I was with that other company for a couple of years. And the beauty with that was that I learned how wrong I was. I learned how all those misconceptions and judgments I had weren't true, that many of the people that were in that company and in the industry were amazing human beings, because most of them are dedicated to a path of personal growth. I always say that network marketing is like a personal growth program with a compensation plan attached. And so I had an amazing journey in that company. I had amazing success with it, and I really loved it. And I loved the flexibility that it gave me to be able to do the business while kind of looking after my children. And then I got pregnant with my second daughter, and I decided that I wanted to take a break. Reason being is that with my first daughter, Indira, I spent like about a year with her, just building that bond and that connection. And I really enjoyed that time. And I knew that with my second daughter, there would be less time because I still had to keep going with Indira. And so I decided to step away. And during that time, there was some magical things that happened. As life would have it, Suki was actually introduced to Allysian Sciences through a series of events and started to build a relationship with Rod and Apollo in conversation around becoming the Chief Transformational Officer. And the beautiful thing for me in that was that there was decisions that we had to make as a family, because that would mean he'd be working more and potentially traveling more. And so I too had the opportunity to ask questions and understand, like, what was Allysian about? What was their mission and values? Who was Rod and Apollo? And everything that Suki had shared just continued to feel like heart yes, heart yes. And I am a big believer in following my intuition and being guided to that. And I could see when I first met Rod and Apollo, there is a presence about them that is extremely powerful, that lets you know that the vision they have is going to be put into place. And obviously Apollo has demonstrated that in being an 8-time Olympian, and Rod and the success that he had. But you put those two together and there's something really magical. But on top of that, there's a level of integrity. There's a humbleness that Heather had mentioned. There's actually, Rod's really funny, and just there's like a genuineness about wanting to serve and be about creating impact. And all of those things really align deeply with my values and with Suki's. I think when I think back to programs that he's created over the last 20 years, I think in the title, there's always something along the lines of maximizing human potential. So when I read what the vision was and the mission, I was like, oh my gosh, this is us. And it's beautiful for me too, to see that people like Heather and people like Monica, there's many of us out there who are about maximizing human potential. So when there's a bigger vision that comes together and there's an opportunity for us to be a part of it, people that were never interested or potentially never interested in network marketing start to come along. Because I was one of those people. I know in conversation with Monica and Heather, they were at one point one of those people. They just didn't find their home. And so the other thing that I really loved is that in that time that I took time away from my business, I continued to get paid. And so that was also a reinforcer in the opportunity that comes with this business, because there's no other business that you can have where you can build it stop for a year and still continue to get paid. And there is something really beautiful about what that gives us in terms of our freedom and our time. And so that for me is a reinforcement around sort of the industry itself. And then with Allysian Sciences, I feel like I'll echo a lot of what Heather and Monica said, but I think there's definitely just a theme here in terms of the innovation behind where they are. This is a company that's starting from the ground up right now, or has been in the works for 18 months, but they are on the pulse of technology. They're on the pulse of what people need to succeed in life in terms of human potential, but also what their affiliates need to succeed in terms of their business. And that was really the thing that caught my eye, the technology that they're doing with their app, but then also they're partnering with marketing companies to be able to create things like lead generation pages and sales funnels, which from my understanding of the online world, it's a really big endeavor and an additional big cost to be able to have these sales funnels and these lead pages. But what they do is they make your business so much easier because everything is systematized. So you could send someone a link on the business or the product and they'll simply opt in, and then you'll be sent an email to know that they've opted in. And so those kind of things just sort of caught my eye because I feel like nobody else in the industry is doing this. And Allysian has a goal to be able to be a company to allow every person to essentially build their business from their phone, because now we're all carrying around computers, so it can be that simple. And they're committed to continuing to upgrade and evolve whatever it takes so that we have those tools and resources. And that was really attractive to me. So I get really excited about being able to share with people about the business. I love business. I don't watch TV, but the only show that I PVR all the time is Shark Tank because I love watching it. I love all the new business ideas. And I really feel like this opportunity is kind of like, I get to be like the sharks getting involved with those businesses that they're investing in, but I get to sit in the front seat and take a ride with Rod and Apollo to this massive vision, while at the same time building my dreams and whatever that looks like for me. And at the same time, I clearly remember what it was like when I first heard about an opportunity in network marketing and when I was first presented an opportunity like this. And I remember thinking, I really don't want to be one of those people who calls all their friends and family to sell them whatever they're doing. And that was something that was real for me. I was like, oh, I love this. It seems right, but this isn't feeling good. And what I want to share with you is that we are really building our business and dedicated to doing it in a very heart-centered way. And you don't have to call every single person that is your friend and family and try to get them enrolled in your business or sell them your product. We're simply building a business with strategies that are the same that we would use in any business we would build. I think about our chiropractic practice, and I think like, if we relied on our friends and family to get adjusted, we'd be broke. But do we go out and connect with people and share and be in a place of service? Absolutely. Do we believe that every single person should get adjusted if they have a nervous system? Absolutely. But what we do is we listen and we ask questions and we be curious and we come from a place of being of service. And when there's an opportunity to provide a solution for people, whether that's, and in this business, whether that's a financial opportunity or whether that's to enhance their health, if people are stressed out, and I mean, think about all the benefits that Monica and shared with us. There's many things that you'll meet people that will need the solution, but that's what it's about. It's about authentically sharing where it fits. It's not about plastering it everywhere, just hoping it lands somewhere. And that's what we're talking about. Really just practicing the normal business practices that you would in any other business. And that's been such a gift for me because I realized that maybe some people build a business that way, but you'll find whatever resonates with you. And that's what we found for us in our team. And the other thing I used to always wonder is, and I'd heard people say, was that only the people at the top make money and only the people that get in first. And the two things that are magical about where we're at with Allysian right now is that this is the top. If that were true, that people could only get in at the top, this is the beginning, that you are a part of the start. And that's totally not true because I know so many people that have been very successful in this business. I know people who have started in a 10-year-old company and made $1 million within a year. Don't get me wrong. They worked really, really, really hard, but it's totally possible. Anything is possible. That's why we talk about redefining possibility. And what I actually see and know is that the people who are successful in this business are the people who treat it like a business, the people who are consistent, the people who just keep going. And what often happens in this industry is that because there's such a low cost of entry, because your investment is so low, people don't have the same fire to create. They don't have the same fire to be dedicated and consistent as they would in another business that they might have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into start, or that they might have went to school and they're hundreds and thousands of dollars into debt. When you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, or you've brought in investors, you have a fire under your butt to make things happen. Whereas in this industry, you come in with a low investment and you have to create your own motivation. And so what I see is the people who are self-motivated, who really want to create their dreams and have that financial freedom, that time freedom, they're the ones who are successful. They're the people who stay committed. And so with that, I want to go in and share, if anything we've shared today in terms of the product, the business resonates, I want to share with you what the next step could look like for you. We've just went through a revamp at Allysian with our compensation plan, and I'm so grateful for it, because what they've done is they've essentially created a roadmap of a 120-day plan for people to not only get your initial investment back, but to earn money. And so what someone would do if you're interested in joining the business, there's two paths you can choose from. The first is the Executive Gold Partner, which takes you on a 120-day path to earn up to $2,000, $2,068 US, or $2,585 Canadian. The other path is the Sapphire path, which has the opportunity to earn $4,251 US, or $5,300 Canadian. And the only difference between these two pass is the actual initial investment that you choose to make in your business. And the thing I want you to keep in mind when you think about investing, the cost of investment is so low, and what that investment really includes for you, in addition to some of the things I'm going to show on the next page, is you get to have access to a multi-million-dollar company. I like to think of it as like, when I'm working on my projects or in my business, what I'd often find is that there becomes a time when you're busy working on your business so that you can generate new sales, and you have to do the accounting, like Heather was saying, and all customer service and all these things is kind of like working on your business. And then there's that's growing your business. Then there's working in your business with your actual clients, or depending what your service is. And what I love about this is that the company Allysian continues to work on your business for you while you can do the things you love, like Heather said. So when they're working on the business, they're doing things like innovating in terms of product development. They're looking after all the manufacturing. They're looking after all the fulfillment and shipping. They have a customer service line that you can call into, or that anybody of your clients can work in. And they're also innovating in terms of the technology and giving us all the tools and everything we need to continue to build our business, which is a beautiful thing. And then you get to work in your zone of genius, whether that's connecting with people, coaching your team, and doing all of those things. So it's really a beautiful, magical kind of relationship that you get to have. So I guess one other thing I want to mention that actually comes with the opportunity is that there's no other business I know that you actually get a mentor or a coach that's already walked the steps ahead of you. Either they're phenomenally successful, like we're all a part of Lisa Sato's team, and she's been in Allysian for 18 months and is already making $1 million, over $1 million a year. And we have the opportunity to be guided by her, as well as myself and Heather and Monica. And Heather, like she mentioned, coaches people all the time in the industry. So you get that access for free. And I don't believe that comes with very many other opportunities. So the Executive Gold investment is $600 Canadian and $480 US. In addition to what I mentioned, you get free shipping, access to the Allysian app, the Mind Hack, all the training videos, Cognifit. You'll get your own personal website and online store, as well as those lead generation pages. And you get a selection of all the products, because in order to share the product, you need to have your own product experience. And so they give you a full selection of products. And the beautiful thing with that is that essentially you get to eat your overhead. So the byproduct is a complete win-win, because you get to enhance your own personal health. You're going to be experiencing more focus and clarity and motivation and just benefiting from the product. So really, in that sense, it's a complete win-to-win. win-win. And then the Sapphire plan is $1,200 Canadian and $960 American, and you get double the amount of products. So if there's maybe somebody else that's living in your house, you can share those products with them, as well as you just have more selection, and that just starts you on the plan to being able to create about $5,000 within 120 days. So with that, what I want to share is that this opportunity, this may be the first time you're hearing about this opportunity, or maybe it's the third time. Whoever it is that invited you to this call, you can connect back with them and determine what the next steps are for you. If it's the business, they'll help you decide which plan is the best plan to get on for you. And my invitation is to you is that I don't believe that anything is an accident. I believe that you were called to be on this call, whether someone invited you or you saw the post that we put out there. I believe that you were brought here for a reason. So my invitation is to discover what that reason is for you. If it's around maximizing your human potential, if it's potentially it's around trying our products. And that would be the first step that I would say. If you're not ready to start a business, then just getting on the product. There's a selection of products. Mastermind's amazing. They all have 100% guarantee, money back guarantee, and the least is that you'll have a test drive of an amazing product experience. And in addition to that, I'll leave you with this question around redefining possible. This is our mantra. What redefine possible means to one and means to others is very different. Within this possibility, there are many opportunities. There's the opportunity for someone to transform their health and transform the health of others by sharing it. There's the possibility to redefine what wealth looks like to you. For some people, that's making an extra $1,000 a month that would absolutely transform their life and their family's well-being. And then there's people who see this as a vehicle to really live the dream life that they've been envisioning for themselves, but haven't been able to make possible. And that allows you to create the impact you want to create and to leave the legacy that you want to create. So I leave you with the question of redefine possible and sitting with what that means for you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for all your time. It's been, a pleasure to share this with Heather and Monica, and we're open to any questions.
Yeah, I'll just echo all of that, and thank you so much. And one thing as well, I'll just say in closing, if there is no questions, that's so cool. And if there is questions later, you're totally welcome to reach out to us on any of the social platforms. We're all available on Facebook and Instagram and email. So just reach out to us with any questions. And I will say as well, if you're feeling the call, this is a rock star team of people. We are so blessed to be surrounded by people that share these values and this vision. And if any part of you feels called to that, come for the ride, because it's going to be a good one.
And I think there's one thing I would love, it doesn't look like there's any questions here, but there's one thing that I would love to add, and that is that I really see this process as a little bit of a dating process. So, to be presented an opportunity, a business opportunity, whether this is your first time or your third time, it takes a bit of processing to really trust your heart and know what that feels like for you. And think of it like when you go on a first date and you're like, oh, this person seems kind of cool. Maybe I'll go on another date. And then you're like, oh, okay. Then you go on another date. And at some point you get to a point where you're like, this is a yes, I want to take things deeper, or this is a no. And that's what essentially each of us is here for, and whoever sent you is here for. It's so that you can, oh, sorry, Monica. I got sidetracked because you're sending messages. So what that opportunity is essentially for you to continue this dating process with us, to ask for information until you get to that solution of what it is for you.
I'll also add to that I'm having the best time building this business, doing it with people like Kate and Heather. It's been the most amazing time. And a year ago, I would have never known that I'd be doing what I'm doing right now, because a year ago I was full-time in practice, I was pregnant, and now I have the opportunity to be a part of something that's bigger than myself, to work with people that I love and be full-time at home with my 9-month-old son. So I know a lot of people, after seeing this webinar, they're like, oh, I can't do that. I'll never do that. And what I'll say to that is, what if you could? Like, what if you could create this business and this life that you love and you're having the best time ever? What if you could create freedom to live the life you want to be and be the person that you want to be? So if there's a tug in your heart about this, we'd love to talk more about it, because this is an amazing opportunity and we're having a great time.
Awesome. So the comments, there was a few people that just said, thank you, grateful, great information.
Awesome.
No
Thank
questions.
you guys so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.